We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup.
This is the raw, naked truth.
Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's today's news. Inflation remains near 40-year highs. The Consumer Price Index rose 8.3% in April compared to a year earlier, slightly slower than the 8.5% pace recorded in March, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Prices were up 0.3% compared to the month before. Core inflation, which excludes volatile food and energy prices, rose 0.6% in April, compared to 0.3% increase in March. Wholesale prices accelerated more than expected. The Producer Price Index, which measures inflation at the wholesale level before it reaches consumers, climbed 11% in April from the previous year. On a monthly basis, prices grew by 0.5%, although that marks a slight moderation from March's reading of 11.2%. The gauge still came in higher than the 10.7% forecast from economists, suggesting inflationary pressures remain strong. Senate Democrats attempted to pass a bill allowing abortion in all 50 states up to the time of birth, eliminate state restrictions, and allow doctors to perform abortions on minors without notifying parents. Democratic leaders knew they didn't have enough support to get the legislation past a Republican filibuster, but they said they wanted to hold the vote so that every senator is on record about where they stand on ensuring women's access to abortion. The vote failed 51-49, with all 50 Senate Republicans opposing it and moderate Democrat Senator Joe Manchin joining them. A record number of people, nearly 108,000, died from drug overdoses in the United States last year, an increase of 15% that followed a catastrophic 30% surge in 2020, according to preliminary new data released Wednesday by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The surge brought total overdose deaths in the 21st century to more than 1 million, fueled in recent years by opioid abuse, the ever-worsening fentanyl crisis, and the failure of the Biden administration to secure the southern border as cartels flood the U.S. with drugs. Drug overdoses long ago surpassed peak deaths from AIDS, car crashes, and gun violence. Beyond Meat shares plunged 26% in after-hours trading on Wednesday after the plant-based meat producer reported a quarterly net loss of $100.5 million compared to a $27.3 million loss in the same quarter a year earlier. The loss for the quarter came to $1.58 per share, far above the 97 cents a share expected by analysts. Despite the frenzy of publicity of plant-based protein, meat substitutes have failed to gain widespread acceptance, and sales fail to live up to the expectations. Finally, the Biden administration canceled one of the most high-profile oil and gas lease sales pending before the Department of the Interior on Wednesday, as Americans face record-high prices at the pump, according to AAA. The DOI halted the potential to drill for oil in over 1 million acres in Alaska's Cook Inlet, along with 2 lease sales in the Gulf of Mexico. The move comes as Biden has taken a few actions to combat high gas prices, despite his administration's generally hostile approach to the oil industry. Within his first week in office, President Biden signed an executive order temporarily suspending new oil and gas leases on federal lands. The administration resumed the new leasing last month following court challenges against the ban. The administration is appealing a ruling in which Judge James Kane struck down the ban. That's the raw naked truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth, as well as the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network, at xvadio.com/podcasts, Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Audible, Amazon Music, and wherever you find podcasts. We'll see you next time.